Welcome back to Fordham Football. Big one coming up midweek under the lights at Molineux. 8 p.m. kickoff, and the stakes are massive. We're sitting 4 points clear at the top of the table right now. And with the North London derby coming up, this is a huge chance to stretch that gap and really pile pressure on Man City. Arteta has been calling our position a privilege, something the squad has earned over months of consistency. But we know how this league works. There are no easy games, especially when you're facing a team scrapping for survival at the bottom. So today, team news, tactical tweaks, and why this top versus bottom game is way trickier than it looks on paper. Okay, let's start with availability because honestly, it's been chaos lately. Good news first. Ricardo Calafiori and Ben White are both fit and available. There were real worries after Calafiori pulled up in the warm-up versus Wigan, and White had hamstring tightness, but both are trained and are good to go. And unfortunately, of course, there is some bad news. Martin Odegaard is officially out for this one again, still recovering from the knock he picked up against Brentford. And Arteta says he's really hopeful for Sunday, which is massive, but he won't feature midweek. Kai Havertz is also out with a muscle injury. Again, could be back for the derby, but not Wolves. And Arteta actually spoke about this weird run of warm-up injuries because it is becoming a little bit of concern. Saliba, Calafiori, Saka, it's happened like 4 times recently. He was half joking, saying it makes him nervous every time someone knocks on his office door before kickoff. But they're even looking at changing routines because it's getting ridiculous. I think there is an issue here, but at some stage you have to say, surely it's a mixture between bad luck, like how often can that really happen? And actually, where does it go away from it being a coincidence to being a pattern? So we'll have to discuss that if it starts happening again, if we have another case of this. Tactically, this is where it gets interesting because with Odegaard and Havertz both missing, we saw something different versus Wigan. Bukayo Saka playing centrally as a number 10. And Arteta loved it. I'm sure we all agree. We all loved it. But he said Saka enjoys the challenge and that he's got something to prove. It brings out another level in him, which honestly, we've all seen this season with the switch. It even works right now because of how good Noni Madueke has been out on the right. Although he's not maybe the most clinical of players, his form has made it possible to move Saka inside without losing threat out wide. And apparently Arteta even checked with the England lads before signing Madueke just to make sure personality-wise he'd fit in that way too. And from what he's saying, the chemistry was instant. Those two are always competing in training, pushing each other, and it's translating onto the pitch. If Saka goes central again, you're probably looking at him feeding Martinelli and potentially Gyökeres up top. Now, Wolves, because we do have to talk about our opponents. Yes, they're right at the bottom of the league, but it's not a free hit. They just ground out a 0-0 at Forest, faced 35 shots, I believe, and still kept a clean sheet. Jose Sarr basically turned into a brick wall. And shape-wise, we're most likely going to expect a 3-5-2 from Wolves. They're physical, aggressive. They will try to disrupt us early. And in fact, they've committed 40 more fouls than any other Premier League side this season. So expect a kind of stop-start, scrappy kind of game if we let them set the tone. We've seen it multiple times with Arsenal. We like to feel out teams, kind of like a boxer or an MMA fighter will do. If you've ever watched someone like Anderson Silva fight, you would always take that first round to kind of feel out the opponent. We kind of do that in our first half, so it could be an interesting one for that first 45 minutes. One to watch, 18-year-old Matheus Mane. Now, quick, fearless, drives from midfield, already shown he can hurt big teams. And also, Gomez, who came in January, he's added composure for them in the middle. One potential advantage for us, though, Wolves played an FA Cup on Sunday, so heavy legs could come into play late on. Now, if you're looking for positives, the numbers are obviously Arsenal leaning. We have won all 8 Wednesday games this season. We've won 9 of our last 11 away at Molineux as well. We scored in our last 36 meetings with Wolves, and we've won the last 9 versus them in all competitions. So yes, history dictates and history says we should handle business. But quick warning, there have been 42 Premier League games where 20th has faced first, and Wolves actually account for 2 of the shock wins from bottom versus top. So obviously complacency cannot creep in with this match. Now, before we get on to the predictions, Paul Tierney's the referee, same guy who officiated our 2-0 win there last season. Wolves are missing a few key players. So Toti Gomez, I think he's called, Hee-Chan Wang. And while they make it physical, I think our quality is probably going to show in this match regardless. Most predictions I'm seeing are 2-0 or 3-0. I'm going to go with a 2-0 as much as MJ at the Different Knock has said that he wants a 6-0 for this game. Pick up MJ over there. Show him some love on Twitter, guys. I think Saka thrives centrally again. Madueke causes problems out wide, and we get the job done professionally. Let me know what you guys think. Are we going to see another Eze and Saka combination? Does Rice automatically come back in for this game? Could we see Miles step into midfield as he was actually kind of predicted to do so against Wigan? So Saka at 10, yes or no? Score predictions, drop them in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hype the video. I'll see you after the match for the reaction. Come on, you Gunners. You guys know football. I just talk it. Forder out.